Hello everybody, Tammy here. Welcome to my channel. This is another video that's part of the Virtual Blythe Retreat Taster that my sister Terry Jeanette and I are putting together, and we're going to make a doll into a Grunge Fashion doll. Okay, so there's a number of videos that are part of this little taster retreat that we're putting on. It's a free little activity that we're doing. If you want to join us and share what you're making with us, make sure you head over to our Facebook group. It's called Blythe Doll Buddies. I'll have a link down below. I will also have links to Terry's channels because that's where some of the videos are going to be at. But she and I are kind of collaborating together and creating a group of videos, like I said, that's going to turn your doll into a grunge dolly. One of the videos is this one right here, and we're going to be making a super easy loom knit hat. It's kind of long because it's a little slouchy, and I'll show you how to make it and fashion it and style it for your little doll. All right, so hold on and I'll show you what you need to get started to make this super easy thing. And you don't need to know how to knit, okay? Trust me, this is so easy. You do need some supplies, but they're relatively inexpensive, easy to find, and this will whip up super fast. Right here are the supplies you're going to need. You're going to need some bulky yarn. It can be your choice of different types of yarns, but it needs to be pretty thick to use the loom that I'm going to show you. So this is bulky. This says it's number 5. I'm using acrylic yarn, and you can see the yarn I chose actually has sort of a twisted effect here of gray, black, and white. So black is a predominant color in grunge, so if you want to add a little black to your grungy doll and not have it touch her skin, this might be an option for you because you'll have hair in between her scalp and the hat. All right, and this will get a little black in there. All right, so this is the magical tool that you'll need, and these are very inexpensive, and I think once you make a hat with this, you're going to want to make a bunch more for your dolls. It is a knitting loom, and most big box stores have these, like Walmart, also the craft stores like Michael's. You could also find them on Amazon, and a lot of times you can find these on sale, especially if you get a coupon. And they usually have different sizes of these looms. So this is the smaller size, and you can see in comparison to her head. Okay. So, and by the way, this hat will also fit most 18-inch dolls like American Girl. So if you have some other dolls or you want to make some, doll hats for other dolls, you can use it as well. So this particular loom that I'm using it has 25 pegs, and it's 5.5 inches in diameter from here to there. And there is about 1/2 inch in between each peg. So if you were to get a loom that did not have 1/2 inch, so maybe it was 1/4 inch, you would need thinner yarn, okay? This particular loom is made for bulky yarn. And what's nice with using the bulky is these whip up super fast since you're using super thick yarn. If you use thinner yarn and you still want to use this type of loom for that, you will have to double up on the yarn as you wrap it around. You'll have to wrap it around twice as many times if, say, you want to use worsted. Or if you have a loom, some looms are made for thinner yarn, but just keep that in mind that it's going to take longer. Okay, if you want super duper fast, get the big loom with the 1/2 inch in between and the 25 pegs. Okay, usually those looms will also come with a big-eyed needle like this. It's sometimes called a darning needle. It's got a big old eyeball, little eye there. And then also this little tool here. This is the tool that you're going to use to pull the yarn over as you wrap it around. And I'm going to show you, of course, how to do that. And also you need some scissors. No big surprise. All right, so I'm going to show you how to attach the yarn to the loom. All right, the first thing you need to do is attach the yarn to the loom. And this little peg here on the side, I always count as sort of my starting and stopping point. So we need to wrap it around the loom one full time before we get started. And the way to attach the yarn to the first loom peg, leave about a 6 to 8 inch tail. This is super important, okay, because we're going to weave this in at the end. And if you have a tail that's super duper short, this is going to be impossible to get onto your needle, the big eye needle I showed you. At the end, you're going to put this on, this. And if you have like this much and you're trying to get it on and weave it back in with this much yarn, you will be very sorry. Okay, so super important, 6 to 8 inches. Doesn't have to be exact, but a good tail, 6 to 8 inches. You're not going to use this. This is just a tail that will be woven in later. And you're going to do a little slip knot. Okay, you're going to do a slip knot. I'll do that again. It just comes right out. You're going to go around like that, pull the yarn up through your loop, and bing it a bang. You have a slip knot. Now that you have a slip knot, you're going to put it on your first peg and tighten it up. You can see how just kind of, you just pull it. Don't make this super duper tight, because again, we're going to have to pull the yarn over, and if you can't get your little hooky thing in there, you will, again, we'll be sorry. Okay, so we're going to put that on and position the tail out of the way. The tail's just going to be hanging out for a while. This is the working yarn. The yarn that's connected to your skein is the working yarn, okay? And then I hold it like this. So the idea is you're going to wrap the yarn all the way around on every single peg, all the way around. And I do it where I come towards myself and then away, towards myself and away, towards myself and away, towards myself and away, okay? And then as you go, just pull the loops down to the bottom of the loom, and you just do that all the way around. Again, don't make it super duper tight. You can see there's some tension here, but it's not crazy tight, okay? So you're going to do that all the way around until you get to the end. And this is a very, I mean, once you start making these hats, they can be pretty addictive, I'll say. I have shown a lot of students in my crafting club. I have a craft club at the college where I work. And they always really like the looms. All right, so I'm back here all the way around. You can see here I'm meeting up here again, but we need at least 2 rows. So we're going to do one more. You always do the first one first and then the second one, and then you'll see after that we just do one at a time. But keep going, same thing. Move it towards you, move it towards you, move it towards you. All right, you're just attaching the yarn to the pegs. Don't make it super tight. Don't make it super loose. If you let go, it's going to unravel, okay? And if that happens, it's not a huge deal. Don't freak out. You just pick it up and do it again, okay? I mean, and what's nice about yarn crafting is typically if you really mess something up, you can just pull it out and start completely over. All right, now we've got 2 rows, and I'm going to use this little peggy guy here to kind of anchor my yarn. Okay, this is my working yarn again. Now you're going to pick up your tool. Okay, this is the tool that comes with your loom, and you're going to get that out of the way. You're going to take the first one, the first loop that you made, and pull it over the peg, and you do that all the way around. You can see there's little groovy things in the pegs, so that's kind of handy. All right, once you start doing a few, you don't have to hold on to this so much because it's started to anchor itself. And you do this all the way around. So this is why it's really important that you do not have the yarn super duper tight, because then if it's super duper tight, you will not be able to pull it over the peg, right? And this might take you a couple of times to get a feel for it. I've made a gazillion of these hats, okay? Oh, my little peg came out. No problemo. Pop it back in there. Woo! All right. Come on, don't do that to me, Loomy. All right. I've made a gazillion of these hats, and so I have a good feel for the tension that I want. So you probably, you know, especially if you're not used to working with yarn a lot, if you've ever crocheted or knitted before, this will be pretty intuitive for you. But if you've never done any yarn work, you might have to start and stop a few times. And if it doesn't work out, you just take it off the loom, pull it all out, and start over again. Not a biggie. All right, I'm down to my last one. You can see it's a little loose, so I'm going to just tighten that up a bit. Pull it over there. All right, let's take a look-see. So we got the tail inside, just to keep that out of the way. And you can start to see now you've got some actual stitches going on inside of the loom. Okay, you don't notice them so much on the outside, but if you look on the inside, you can start to see that you're weaving the yarn, and that's what you're doing. You're weaving a fabric of yarn. So same thing that you did before. We already have one now on the loom. We already have one row. We're going to go again towards me, towards me, towards me, away and towards me, away from me, towards me. I'm going to do that all the way around. This is super meditating. I'm serious. Like, if you can get going on these, it's nice and calming. It's very easy to do. A lot of children like to work with looms, but it's fun for adults too. So here I am again, and I'm going to just wrap it once around the little peggy thing here. And again, over. Oh, uh-oh, see that guy's trying to come out. Don't do that. Okay. Oops. I split my yarn. No big deal. I fixed it. Okay. All right. And then, as you can see, I'm just doing the same thing. I'm going over, pulling it. I got my little tool, scoop it up the first loop, pull it over the second loop. Scoop up the first loop, pull it over the second loop. You do that all the way around on every single peg. And yep, we're almost done with the next row. And this is pretty much what you're going to do. You're going to repeat that process over and over and over again. And as you do it, you'll notice that your fabric is going to grow. The fabric you're weaving inside of the loom is going to go. See, this is no big deal. Whoop, I just lost you. That's okay. I know I've got to do this one, this one, this one, and this one. Wrap it back around. All right, pull it on there. I'm going to hold on to it a little bit with my finger here. All right, dude, don't do that. And then finish up. I will say some people will like wrap the yarn one time and then pull it over, and you can do that too. This is not the only way to do it. All right, so now again, let's look on the inside. So we have a little growth there. You can see a little bit of a hat is growing. All right, so you're going to keep doing that over and over again, where you wrap the yarn around the pegs on the loom. You take the little tool, you pull it over, and you're going to keep doing that until your hat is the size that you want. So what is the size that you want? For this project, I recommend trying to get it about 6 inches, because we're making a slouchy hat, so it needs to be a little bit longer. If you want it shorter, probably around 4 inches would work. If you just want like a regular beanie style and you don't want the extra length on the end. And I'll show you how to get it off of the loom once you get your length. But at this point, I'm going to step away from the camera, and I'm going to keep looming away here and till I get the length that I want. And then I'll show you how to take it off of here and finish the top of it. And you can see this is the end here. Okay, but let me go ahead and do this. It's probably going to take me, about an hour or so, depending if I don't get interrupted. All right, guys, I'm finally done, and I am ready to take this off. But just to show you, here's how I measure, just to make sure it's long enough. And like I said, this is a slouchy hat, so yes, it's extra long. I just take a tape measure, hold it up to about here, and then bring it out here. And there you can see it is 6 inches. All right. Again, if you want to make it shorter, as long as it fits your dolly's head, that's fine. If you want a shorter beanie type cap, that would also work. All right. So now you need your scissors, and you're going to trim off, again, about 6 to 8 inches. I'd say about 8 inches is good. And just to give you an idea, okay, that was 9 inches, right? I wouldn't cut it any shorter than that. All right, then 6 to 8 inches at the minimal. And you're going to put the end of the yarn through the big needle that came with the kit. And now I'm going to remove each one of these loops, and it's basically going to turn into like a drawstring effect. And I'm just scooping it up. Oops, get out of the way, pull it up. All right, and I'm going to work all the way around. Scoop it up, pull it up. And I will do the rest of this off camera and then come back when I get all the way around, doing it all the way around. So when I come back around to here, I will be back and show you how to finish taking it off your loom. Right, I've got one more to take off the peg. And you can see at this point it's starting to gather up. But I want to turn it inside out before I finish it off, because there's definitely an outside and an inside. See how different the inside looks? Here's the finished hat again. The outside hat actually can see little ridges here, and the inside of the hat, you don't see those ridges. All right, so this is the outside. So before I keep gathering it up, I'm going to put my needle through and just turn it inside out. And now I'm going to pull on this piece of yarn here. You can see this is what the top looks like. And we still have a little gaposis. So this is where the needle comes in. You're going to pull it through, finish it off. And I typically, there's still kind of a little hole there, so I want to close that up a little bit. So I just kind of go through a few. This is going to be on the inside of the hat, so you're not going to see this part necessarily. So, but we want to not only close it up, but we also want to secure this tail. And I don't typically tie knots. You could tie a knot here if you feel like it, but I usually just kind of weave it through a bunch. All right, come on, weave it through the other way. There we go. Double check I don't have a hole there anymore, so I'm going to take my scissors, trim that off. Okay, now I'm going to turn it back inside out. You can see the top of that's all gathered up now. We still have, this is the tail that you originally started with, so we want to weave that in as well. Same kind of deal. You're going to put the end of your yarn through your little needle there. Like I said, there's little ridges up here, so I just kind of go through the center part. You're weaving this back through the fabric that you wove together. Alright, and then I'm going to trim off the excess and just pull it, and that little piece will kind of dissolve a little bit. I could trim it a little bit more. Alright, now at this point your hat is really finished. I'm going to show you something though that you may or may not want to do. Alright, so I have my doll. I'm gonna wrap this cord around her neck just to keep it out of our way. And like I said, it's really done at this point, and you can see here I'm just put it on her and then pull it down a little bit, and it's really finished right now. Okay, but it kind of flops up a little bit, and that bugs me sometimes. So if you wanted to, as an additional type of thing to do, you could tack this down. All right, I'm going to show you how to do that. So I previously showed you how it fit on the doll, and this is kind of where I'd like the end of the top of the hat to hit and the base. So this would be the front like this. And so I want that to stay in place. So I just left some of the yarn that was on the tail that I just wove in. And I'm just going to go through here, leave a little bit there, go back through here, and I'm going to tie a little knot, square knot, right over left, left over right, trim off, and there it's slouching and it kind of stays in place. Let me put it back on her. There we go. It fits a little bit better that way. Okay. Like I said, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. I actually made this hat extra slouchy at 6 inches. My original hat, I think, is a little bit more, probably more like 5 inches. I would say 4 inches makes more like a beanie where you don't have the slouch. But if you want some slouch going on, which is typically grungy, then you're going to make it longer. And this is, as you saw when I made this, I made it 6 inches. All right, so I'm going to finish getting her all dressed up in the rest of her grunge outfit, and we can take a look at her. All right, she's all decked out in her grunge fashion, starting with the hat that I just showed you guys how to make. And of course, if you already know how to knit, you can just make your own knitted hat and just make it long, and that way it's going to be slouchy. I'd love to know what your thoughts are about this project. Please put them in the comments down below. And of course, if you have any questions, let me know. She's wearing all of the items that we made for the Virtual Blythe Retreat Taster. This is our first one. And as you know, this is all about grunge fashion. That was our theme, grunge fashion. So we've got the hat. We've got earrings that Terry did a workshop for. These little necklaces here. They're really, chains are a big deal with the grunge fashion. The skirt, the top. Oh, and she's got her pull charm. Almost forgot to show you that. She's got her pull charm back here amongst her massive amount of hair. Okay, she's got her pull charm. And then, of course, the stockings. And I happen to have these boots. If you have any black boots, the white socks will hopefully protect them. But any kind of boot, and also tennis shoes like high tops or any sort of canvas style tennis shoes tend to be popular among grunge fashionistas. All right. And make sure you show us your grunge fashion Blythe dolls and any other grunge dolls that you'd like to share over on our Facebook group, Blythe Doll Buddies. That's where we're going to be sharing all of the videos and all of the photos with you guys. And of course, if you want to post your own video on your YouTube channel, feel free to do so, and then post a link over to it over on Blythe Doll Buddies so we can all make sure we enjoy it as well. Again, let me know if you have any questions. Let me know your thoughts down below. As usual, please give this a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please join our Facebook group as well. Have a wonderful Dolly Day. Bye-bye.